coverage you can count on. This is the Erie News NOWCAST.
Good Monday morning. Happy Columbus Day. Thanks for jumping on Facebook Live for a mid-morning check of some of the stories we're watching here at Erie News Now. We begin with Southwest Airlines. Its problems continuing over the weekend after several cancellations and flight delays. Thousands of them started back on Friday. Now at the Southwest Terminal in Dallas on Sunday, long lines as a result of those delays and cancellations. They weren't alone though. Passengers in Denver, Chicago, Chicago's Midway Airport, Baltimore, Washington Airport. Those Southwest customers still running into some big time problems. Southwest canceled more than 1,800 flights over the weekend. On Saturday, they put out a statement indicating that there were delays in the Florida area Friday night because of an FAA imposed air traffic management program. The company said that was triggered because of weather. The FAA, though, says there have been no staffing issues since Friday, and any delays that Southwest ran into was a result of aircraft and crews, they say, being out of place. Elsewhere, a shooting early this Sunday morning inside of a Minnesota bar has left one person dead, more than a dozen others hurt. Police responded to the gunfire in St. Paul. So far, they have arrested 3 men who were apparently involved. They're being treated at the hospital, going to be charged officially once they get out of the hospital treatment. Now, a woman in her 20s died in this Minnesota shooting. 14 others had to go to the hospital for treatment. No word yet on the identity of that woman who passed. Police say it's still too soon at this point to speculate on a motive. Well, closer to home, even after leaders of the Warren County School District voted to change their face mask policy, their legal fight is expected to head back into federal court a little later on this week. Now, at a special meeting last Friday, the Warren School Board voted unanimously to change its face mask policy to line up with Pennsylvania's mask order. And that's after a lawsuit filed by some Warren County parents led to a federal judge issuing a temporary restraining order, one that requires Warren schools to make its students get a note signed by a doctor in order to opt out of that mask wearing. Now, even with the policy change, the lawyer representing those Warren parents says he's going to push forward with that federal case. He says his client's constitutional rights were violated. The whole matter due back in federal court this coming Wednesday. Well, up in western New York, the effort to identify that second set of human remains found last month continues. We do know that police suspect foul play in both of those deaths. Last week, the Chautauqua County Sheriff's Office announced that they'd identified one set of human remains there, a 50-year-old woman who they say had been reported missing out of Buffalo, New York earlier this year. Authorities say that second set of remains had actually been at that location up in Portland, New York for years, possibly decades, buried about 6 inches beneath the surface there. So far, no cause of death for either body. And authorities say it now could be 4 to 6 more weeks before they're able to make a positive identification. There's a new mural on a side of a school right here in Erie. It's a mural that's honoring someone who had a big impact on our community. Carla Hughes died suddenly back in May at just 50 years old, but her memory and personality are now living on in this mural. Over the years, Carla had an impact on a lot of kids' lives. She was a dance and PE teacher at Collegiate Academy for almost 20 years. She also sang in the choir at the Second Baptist Church, ran her own company called Life Through Dance here in Erie, and she used that company to mentor young women. She also performed at the Erie Playhouse. That Carla Hughes mural is on what was once her middle school, Wayne School, down at 6th and East Avenue.
The thing that she really enjoyed was working with young people. And she was the type of person that didn't complain about what needed to be done. She just did it. And so this is definitely something that kind of speaks to what needs to be done. Is that, there needs to be a facelift in some of the, broken down urban areas in the city, and there needs to be a cultural arts interest. And so she was kind of the spokesperson of that in her own way, and this is very fitting to have her on the wall.
And there's a dedication ceremony for this mural that's set for 1 o'clock in the afternoon this coming Saturday. Well, we're getting into the time of year when drivers might notice more deer on the road, and that has PennDOT sending out a warning this Monday. Erie News Now's Elena Jonathan has the story.
This is the time of the year
where more people are reporting seeing and hitting deer while on their daily commute. PennDOT is issuing a warning to drivers. Keep on the lookout for deer crossings. Here in the state of Pennsylvania, you have a 1 in 52 chance of meeting a buck or doe on the highway. That's the 3rd highest in the nation, according to State Farm Insurance. Jill Harry, press officer for PennDOT, is telling people to make sure you're being careful.
So you want to make sure that you're paying attention, especially in those areas where we've, hung up those signs. We've identified them as higher, areas for deer crossings and things like that. But
The responsibility falls on the drivers to make sure they're alert while on the road, especially this time of year. Harry explains you should be giving space between you and the vehicle in front of you every time you're behind the wheel.
They may be reacting to a deer that you haven't even seen yet. So, be aware of the vehicles around you just as much as you're watching for those deer. And of course, never drive distracted.
Elaine Jothan reporting there. And I've got to imagine that this unusually warm October might be delaying some of that deer movement.
Yeah, certainly. Temperatures right now, we are in the 60s out there. We're only going to continue to warm on up for today. You can see we're getting into the upper 70s as we make that turn into the afternoon. Weather impact index today, we're at a 0. You can see really not much cloud cover out there. Not really expecting a whole lot as we go through your Monday. Futurecast for us today, you can see that we are dealing with enough of that sunshine. Just some high clouds. They start to stream in a bit later on in the day, so you'll notice that the sunlight kind of gets knocked down just a bit, but I still think we'll be able to tag that 80-degree mark deeper into the night. And then for your Tuesday morning, should be dry. Once we get into the afternoon, maybe an isolated shower out there. Pretty weak front is moving on through. Maybe a better chance towards dinner time and then into the early evening hours, but this is not going to bring us really any significantly cooler weather. We are looking at that chance for temperatures at about 80 degrees today. I don't think we'll quite reach the record, but we'll certainly be within range. Some clouds during the afternoon, but again, no rain expected. And again, the record book for today looks like this. That 84-degree reading goes back to 1949, and our normal high this time of year is 20 degrees colder than that record. So today, if you do the math right, we'll be 16 degrees above normal. Your zone outlook for today, we are expecting temperatures upper 70s to around 80 degrees. We'll see some more clouds later on in the day. Again, those high clouds kind of shifting on in. Into Crawford County, we're getting some of that sunshine right now. We'll have a partly sunny sky as we dip into the afternoon. Temperatures into the middle 70s. Some spots towards the east could be a little bit cooler, but we're still unseasonably mild nonetheless. We'll talk about that 7-day in just a moment.
First, though, it's a story of an Ohio dad whose kids missed a day of school because of a bus driver shortage. And this guy's now helping neighborhood kids get to and from school in style. His name is Sean Rogers Jr. He's from Columbus, Ohio. And yes, his kids missed school because the bus never showed up to take them to their middle school. So he posted on Facebook looking to see if any other parents nearby wanted their kids driven to school, not in a bus, but in this big old limousine. Actually, had borrowed it from his dad's limo service. Well, Roger said he got dozens of responses and eventually gave 25 kids a ride to class. That number bumped up to 42 the next day. Imagine those kids probably don't want to go back on the bus after taking that limo to and from class. Well, all week long, teachers can get a little extra love in the form of a free breakfast from McDonald's. Yeah, it's a week-long giveaway the McDonald's is putting on. They say teachers, administrators, school staff are all eligible for these free McDonald's thank you meals, as they're calling them. Just have to show that work ID. Get hash browns, one of those 3 McDonald's breakfast sandwiches, as well as a drink. And again, the promotion lasts all week. McDonald's actually gave away 12 million of these thank you meals last year, giving them out to first responders and healthcare workers. It looks like all week long, much like that McDonald's giveaway, we're going to be in some unusually warm temperatures.
Oh yeah, temperatures above normal every single day. And so far this month, I believe it was only October 1st. That's when we had our seasonable high temperatures, but you can see we're remaining above that as we continue through the work week. Maybe some isolated showers out there on Tuesday, Wednesday to Thursday. Thursday looking pretty dry. Can't totally rule out a shower. We may see a couple around on Friday a little bit later in the day, but you can see Saturday could be fairly wet, and we have one of the more significant cold fronts coming in over the weekend. Now, we're not talking about plunging temperatures, but we're certainly coming down, and it's going to be a bit on the cool side by Sunday. So there we go. You know, we were waiting for our 7-day forecast to finally reveal the cooler stuff, and we certainly have it coming up. But in the meantime, enjoy this warm weather while we have it, because these days could certainly be very limited.
Good advice. Great weather on this Columbus Day. Thank you, David. And thank you for watching the NOWCAST here on Facebook Live. We'll do it again about the same time tomorrow. And a reminder, we've got our next full report, 30 minutes of news coming your way at noon on WSEE. Have a great Monday.